Hi guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today, Jessica, who's Beauty and Baseball here on YouTube, is bringing you another episode of Clone Wars. So be sure to go ahead and check out her channel for her dupes on this palette that we're going to be doing today. And it all started because our friend Yana went ahead and sent us a picture saying that she basically wanted us to dupe this. And it is the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. I'll admit, the first time I looked at it, I was just like, whatever. You know, I wasn't paying any attention because it's just another eyeshadow palette, right? But as I went ahead and I watched the video and looked up the pictures online and the swatches that were available, I kind of fell in love with this palette. And so I was so determined to go ahead and dupe this. So here are my swatches according to my collection. So whenever I say a dupe, this is just simply stuff that is in my collection. Strictly, I'm shopping my stash and getting as close as I can to the shade, and most of the time they will be the same finish. But of course, you know, colors may be slightly different. Finishes might be slightly different. This is just what I have in my collection that comes as close as I possibly can to the Blood Sugar palette. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to start with the first row. The first shade is called Glucose, and it is considered a matte white. And so I'm going into my Zoeva Caramel Melange palette, and I'm going to go ahead and go with this shade right here, which is Wax Paper. That's that one right there. And then the second one is called Sugarcane, and it is described as a cool tone brown matte. And for that one, I'm going into my Naked 3 palette. I'm going into this shade right here, which is called Limit. And that's that one. The next one is called Cake Mix, and that is a deeper brown matte. And so I'm going into the same palette, the Naked 3, and I'm going in with this shade right here, which is Nooner. And that's that one right there. The next one is called Ouch, and that is described as a warm toned camel brown matte. And I'm going into the Naked Heat palette. I'm going with this shade right here, which is called Low Blow. There's that. The next one is called Donor, and I'm going into this shade right here, which is Mac Coppering. That's that shade right there. And the last one in that row is called Intravenous, which is described as a warm tone chocolate brown. And I'm going into my Naked Heat palette. And I am going to go ahead and go with this shade right here. And that is called Enfuego. Enfuego. I can't speak today. And there's that one right there. Now to move on to the second row, the first one is called Candy Floss, and that is described as a metallic pink. And so I'm going into my Coastal Scents Winterberry palette, and I'm going with this shade right here. And that's what that one looks like. The next one is called Tongue Pop, and that is described as like a matte peachy pink orangey shade, and for that I'm going into my Too Faced Natural Love palette. I'm going to be using this shade right here, which is called Honey Butter, and that's that one right there. The next shade is called Sweetener, and it is a metallic shade described as a pinky peachy gold, and I'm going into my Coastal Scents Winterberry palette again. And I'm telling you, maybe I'm not going into this palette today. What do you think? I'm going in with this shade right here. That's what that one looks like. The next shade is called Cavity, and that is considered a hot pink matte. And the only shade that I could get close enough is from the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. And I'm going in with this shade right here, which is called Totally Fetch. And that's that shade right there. The next shade is called O Positive, and that is considered a cool tone gray matte. And I'm going in with my Marc Jacobs palette, and this is the 202, the Tease. I'm going in with this shade right here. That's what that one looks like. The last shade in the row is called Root Canal, and it is described as a matte purple. And for that one, I'm going in with this Darling Girl shade. This is from their Love Actually set, and this is called the Total Agony of Being in Love. And that's what that looks like. Now on to the third row. Now this third row gave me some issues. This is a very hard row to dupe, at least for me it is. So I got as close as I possibly could. So the first one is called Prick, and that is considered an orange matte. And so I went into my Zoeva Caramel Melange palette, and I'm going in with this shade right here, which is called Aftertaste. And that is a very vibrant matte orange. The next one is called Cherry Soda, and that is considered a matte red, a true matte red. And I do not have a true matte red in my collection, so I looked at all of my reds that I have, and the closest thing that I could possibly get to this is from the ABH Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going with this shade right here, which is called Venetian Red. Again, it's not a true matte red, but it is like a matte red. The next shade is called Fresh Meat, and that is basically described as a matte burgundy. And for that, I'm going into my Naked Heat palette, and I am going with this shade right here, and it is called Ashes. And that's what that one looks like. The next one is called Blood Sugar, and that is described as a metallic rusty red. And I went into my Naked Heat palette again, and I went with this shade right here, which is called Dirty Talk. Running out of room here, guys, but that's what that one looks like. The next one is called Extraction, and it is considered a plum burgundy matte. Don't be mad at me. You guys are going to be mad at me, but that's okay. No shade. I'm going into my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye in Plum. No shade, I promise. And I'm going in with this shade right here, and that's what that one looks like. And the last shade in the palette is called Coma, and it is considered a purple matte. I do not have a purple matte. I've got blue purples, I've got one light purple, but I don't have a purple matte. And as someone who loves purple, I'm really surprised that I do not have a purple matte. So I went in with my Vice 3 palette, and this is a different finish, but this is sort of the closest I could get to it. And I'm going in with this shade right here, and it is called Vanity. And that's what that looks like. So this right here is my interpretation, or as best as I could get of my interpretation, of the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. And I don't know, I'm good with the first two rows. The third row, I don't know, but again, for those shades, I know that I could just go ahead and buy a single and not have to waste money on a whole entire palette, considering the first two rows I had absolutely zero problems duping. But if you guys want to go ahead and buy this palette, that's great. That's great. We're just trying to give you options to shop your stash and to just think about your purchases. So if you guys bought this palette, leave it in the comments below and let me know what you guys think. I know that it just came out yesterday, and so a lot of you are probably still waiting for it. So whenever it comes in, let me know what you guys think. I'm just curious. So I hope that you guys go ahead and check out Jessica. I'll have her channel linked down below, as always, and I bet you she's able to go ahead and dupe a few of the shades that I couldn't necessarily get very well. So I'm sure she can, because she has a lot of Coastal Scent singles. So be sure to go check her out before you go ahead and spend $52 on an eyeshadow palette. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to go ahead and give this a like, and also comment if there is a palette that you guys want us to dupe, and we will get to it at some point. We do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that are coming up over the next couple of months, so just let us know if there's anything that intrigues you, and we will do our best to dupe it for you. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!